How's it going, everyone? Power Metal Ranger here today to give you another album thoughts video. Boy, we had a ton of albums drop this past Friday, October 15th. Still working my way through them. Gonna try to do as many album thoughts videos as I feasibly can. But anyway, today I'm going to give you my thoughts on the new Skeletoon album titled The 1.21 Gigawatts Club. And if you're thinking, based on that title, that this album is going to have to do a lot with the movie Back to the Future, well, by golly, you are right. Pretty much the whole thing is centered around the movie Back to the Future, with the themes and all of that. So it's just rife with Back to the Future stuff and goodies in there. There's 11 tracks, and it comes in at just over 49 minutes. Decent amount of tracks. Good track length, or album length, I would say. First thing, I like to talk about is the cover. I dig this cover. It's great. I mean, if the name of the album already didn't give away that this is going to have to do with Back to the Future, the cover right there. I mean, you got the license plate right there, which normally says at a time, but on here, it doesn't. But there's a lot of little details that you can see on there. It's got the fire lines that when the car, the DeLorean in the movie goes through time, it leaves the fire tracks along the ground, and it's just cool. It's got this like spinning vortex. It's got that lightning bolt coming down. Super cool, super fun. The colors and sci-fi vibe. It's just really, really neat. Again, and it even says on there, where they're going, they don't need roads. I mean, that famous line from the movie, where we're going, we don't need roads. So, super cool, super fun. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about what you're getting into when you're going to check out this album. So, it starts out with the intro, which is really cool, kind of synthy, kind of a spacey kind of vibe, and it's even got a little snippet of the Back to the Future theme song in there, just really kind of setting the mood. It's like a minute long, but it just really kind of gets the vibe going. And then it goes right into their single that they released, Holding On. I'm going to put a link to this single in the description below, so you can go check that out. I did a reaction to it, actually. Really cool song. Really nice melody, good kind of positive, uplifting, fun vibes. Great, it ends on a great note. Super good song. Out of Time, it's pretty similar, similar vibes. Just a feel good, happy kind of sounding song. The next track, The Pinheads, is really interesting. This one kind of took me off guard. It's got like a punk kind of vibe almost, or I guess like rockabilly, you could say, but really had some punk rock vibes going on to it, which I really dug. I was like, this is cool, this is really cool. So it kind of was a nice surprise. Next one, 2204 or 2204, if you will. This is an interesting song because it reminded me of, like, if you took Beast in Black and Dragon Force and kind of combine the two, this is what you get, because you kind of get some electronic stuff going, some voice box kind of sound in the background. But one thing that I'll say is that, he's just ripping through lyrics on this song. Ripping through them. Major props to that. Again, it's another fun song, pretty up tempo. That's one thing I'll say. All of the songs on this album, pretty pretty speedy, pretty high tempo songs, just kind of just taking you through. The next track, Enchant Me. I really like this one. I would say this is as close to a ballad as you're going to get on this album. It's also a great little piece where they include a little bit of the Earth Angel song from the Back to the Future movie. Really cool. Really dug it. Again, I'm sure I missed a ton of little Easter eggs and stuff. I know the movie, of course, I've seen it numerous times, but if you're a huge Back to the Future movie buff, I mean, you can just go hog wild on this bad boy, I'm sure, with the amount of references and things like that, little Easter eggs to find hidden throughout, whether musically or lyrically. So that's a lot of fun. The next one, We Don't Need Roads, The Great Scott Madness. This one's cool because it starts out with a crazy guitar riff, very classical music inspired sounding guitar riff kind of going, and this one just takes you through. That's one thing I really like up through this point. Every song is very distinctive. Every song has its own kind of flavor or vibe, but still sounds cohesive. None of them sound out of place or anything. The next song, Pleasure Paradise, Ooh La La. Honestly, this song is the only song on the album that didn't really do it for me. I just couldn't really get into this one. There's nothing that really stood out very much. It's a little repetitive in my opinion. I just couldn't really get into it. And unfortunately, because of that, the next track, The Fourth Dimensional Legacy, it kind of leaves me a little zoned out for that song. If I skip over Pleasure Paradise, The Fourth Dimensional Legacy is a great, again, kind of speedy, feel-good kind of, song. But listening in order, again, Pleasure Paradise, I check out a little bit, and I don't get engaged again until track 10, The Eastwood Ravine. So it kind of makes me miss out on The Fourth Dimensional Legacy personally. It's good. It's a good song, but it just doesn't really have, I guess, something to pull my attention back in. But on its own, it's a good song. The Eastwood Ravine, really good song. It's got multiple parts to it. In the middle, I love it. It's got kind of a break where it gets kind of electronic, and then you get some solos and stuff, and it just comes back in. I say this on a lot of my album thoughts videos, but it seems to be a trend which I really enjoy, where a band likes to take all the elements from earlier in the album and kind of include them all in the end or on the final track or just towards the end of the album. That's how I feel about this song. It's really got a lot of the elements and sounds of the culmination of everything that's come before. Really, the song ends on like a high note. It's really great, gets big and grand and whatnot, and goes out. And then you get a nice treat. Track 11, they do a cover of Johnny Be Good, again, a song featured in the movie heavily. It's iconic scene. Awesome cover, really fun, really cool. Kind of reminds me of movies back in the day, the kind of adventure type family movies where at the end of the movie, they'll play kind of a fun, upbeat song at the end of the credits. I can just remember, like, as a kid, even in the 90s and stuff like that, I just remember as a kid, you kind of leaving the theater and there's just really fun, upbeat music playing. It kind of has you leaving in a good mood, I guess, tries to get you going out on a high note thinking, that was a fun movie, whatever. But yeah, it's a cool way to end the album with just another homage to the movie. That's a great cover. So that's kind of my track by track rundown. Overall thoughts. One thing I will say for sure is the production quality on this album is top notch. I mean, it's crystal clear. Everything is crystal clear and smooth. Just really. So the recordings, the way they did the recordings and the studio and mastered everything, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Crystal clear. Fantastic. And there's a lot going on in some of these songs, so really good on that. Vocals, this dude's vocals, truly top notch. I mean, he's got a range. He can go anywhere, and he can get really high, and he can, do the lyrics really quick. There's some of these songs. Honestly, I think he's up in the upper echelon as far as power metal vocalists, especially modern day power metal vocalists go. This dude needs just lots of recognition for that, because he is really, really good. Got flawless control over his voice, and like I said, he can just go everywhere. Just power metal vocals go. He is just cream of the crop, as they say. Instrumentally, this album is fantastic. Heavy focus on guitars. Lot of crazy fast guitar riffs, and some good solos. And then the drums are going right. You hear the double bass going, and it's just very speedy. A lot of very speedy songs, but fun. I love the overall vibe of the album. Again, it's all has just a very fun, kind of uplifting, just exciting sound to it. You're not going to be down in the dumps if you're listening to this album. It's just got good vibes. They clearly had a lot of fun with it. They clearly love the source material, the movie Back to the Future. I mean, that's evident. And it's just very well put together. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Some real top-notch power metal, especially if you're looking more for some from speedy, kind of fast tempo power metal. Really good. My only thing is I would probably take out track 8, Pleasure Paradise, and that would make the album have 10 tracks instead of 11, and I feel like that would be just really perfectly concise, every song very distinctive, and just really cohesive and fit together beautifully. But either way, it's a fast-moving album. You get through it before you even realize, that you're on the last track. It just goes by quick, and you just want to jump back in and give it another listen because it's a lot of fun. So those are my thoughts on the 1.21 Gigawatts Club by Skeletoon. The band uploaded the full album as a playlist on their YouTube channel, so I'm going to put a link to that playlist below, also a link to the band's YouTube channel, and a link to their single with music video for Holding On. Thanks so much for checking out this video, and if you stop by Skeletoon's channel or song, single, or what have you, tell them Power Metal Ranger sent you. That would be super cool. You could even say that you've been sent back to the future by the Power Metal Ranger to let them know that we're all digging their album. That would be fun. Anywho, that's that. Thanks again for checking this out. Catch you all later. Ranger.